Hey everyone, it's Fox from Inferno Fox Gaming. So Nintendo has done general Nintendo Directs in February for 4 of the last 5 years. With PlayStation and Xbox's own presentations in the rearview mirror, it's time for Nintendo, of course being the last one, to provide their fans with some new games and other information. And if you like what you see here at Inferno Fox Gaming, please like, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. And let me know in the comment section, too, what games you think are going to be coming in the upcoming Nintendo Direct. So let's just jump right into it, get into things, and we're going to start with the 8-inch screen-sized elephant in the room. And that, of course, is the big question. Will Nintendo announce their new hardware, what I think will be called the Super Nintendo Switch? Reports have confirmed that it'll have an 8-inch LCD screen, not OLED, and most likely be backwards compatible. I believe that it will be announced as the show opener and have a general release window for the summer of 2024. Now, this allows Nintendo a lot of wiggle room, just like how Splatoon released in September 2022. That was sort of acknowledged by the Big N as still releasing in the summer, even though that moved originally from July to September, swapped the release dates with Xenoblade 3. Beyond the original, like the beginning announcement, they're going to dedicate about 10 to 15 minutes around the several games that are going to be shown, and it's going to include small trailers for third-party games that are already on other systems. And this is going to be like big hype time level. It's going to Nintendo's going to want to really grab eyes, and they're going to do it when they show that Elden Ring is going to be announced as a game. And then after that, it's going to be Baldur's Gate 3 as well. Once Baldur's Gate 3 has been shown, then they're going to show Persona 3 Reload. And that, of course, just released. And it's going to be a sort of a big thing to where, yes, Persona 3, this game has been worked on for some time and had been planned for this newest Nintendo system all along, and it's going to be announced as one of those day one games. Also, what is going to be announced, I think, is going to be Monster Hunter Wilds. And this was shown during the Game Awards, and I think it was just for PlayStation systems, or like PlayStation 5. Because of the success of Monster Hunter Rise on the Nintendo Switch, I think it's pretty much a done deal that we're going to see Wilds here on the Super Switch. But my wild card pick, I think, is going to be Starfield. And it's going to be shown there, and it's going to also show Microsoft's continued collaboration with Nintendo. It's going to be like, hey, two of the big three pillars are working together to be able to provide you some of the best games. First-party Switch games are going to be shown off here, and it's going to be like an up-res or upgrade feature for like an additional fee, sort of what Sony has done for the PlayStation 4 games like Horizon and Ghost of Tsushima, and I guess to a lesser extent, well, not really a lesser extent, sort of like the Last of Us 2 remaster, where it's like you pay like $10 or $20 to be able to play it on PlayStation 5. Nintendo's going to have that for Switch games like Breath of the Wild, Bayonetta 3, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, what I think are games that were originally meant to be developed for the of course never released and canceled Nintendo Pro Switch. I believe that these are going to be games that were pretty much meant to be up-resed, and you're going to be able to pay an additional fee to be able to run them like at 60 frames per second and at 4K. And they're going to end this segment with two games. One is going to be a remaster of Xenoblade Chronicles X, the Wii U game, and it's going to look fantastic as a Super Switch title. And they're going to end this particular segment with the announcement of a new 3D Mario game, what I think is going to star Mario and Donkey Kong. And the reason, again, this is kind of like where I think there's smoke, there's fire, where we've heard long rumors that a new Donkey Kong game had been being worked on for some time by the Mario Odyssey team. I've heard rumors that the newest Mario game is supposedly going to be for the Super Switch. It's going to look fantastic. And then I've also heard rumors that the scene with Mario and Donkey Kong running in the Super Mario Brothers movie with the collecting the power-ups, fighting enemies, this game is going to be kind of like the expansion of that. And then finally, you got the Bowser's Fury of Super Mario 3D World, where you've got this open-world Mario concept. It's really possible that this Mario and Donkey Kong 3D Mario game is going to expand on that. So you got 10 to 15 minutes done with the Super Switch stuff. The next 20 minutes is going to continue to play out like a standard Nintendo Direct. So that means they're going to feature a number of Switch titles, but there's going to be a visual card on all these Switch titles that it'll show compatible with the Super Switch, because again, all of these titles will be backwards compatible. And the games I think that are going to be featured is going to be something Pokemon. Wouldn't be surprised if they announced a cross-gen Pokemon Legends game, like a Legends Arceus 2 or whatever the next legendary Pokemon that they want to expand upon, based off of like their main base games, or even something like low stakes. I think it's going to be something Pokemon related, like maybe like a puzzle game spin-off, or Pokemon Snap 3, or Stadium 2 or something. Speaking of somethings, I think something Disney is also going to be shown. It's probably going to be Dreamlight Valley or Speedstorm content or DLC. I think a couple of indies are going to be shown, maybe one or two. I'm not in the parlance as to what's popular on Steam beyond all the crazy Power World stuff. Power World's not coming, ain't coming to a Nintendo system ever. But I also don't think the indie stuff shown, there's not going to be anything Silksong at all. I'm sorry guys, I just don't think it's going to be released. I think, you know how I said where there's smoke, where there's fire, there hasn't been any smoke or fire or anything like that with Silksong for a long time. I do think, because it's a Nintendo Direct, there's going to be something farm sim related. I don't know what it's going to be. Maybe another Harvest Moon game or Story of Seasons. There's also going to be something with the feels. You know what I mean. It's like how that announcer talks when he's announcing games like Paulia. It's going to be that sort of
create the idyllic life of your dreams. Carve out your blissful life solo.
And again, I'm not denouncing it, the cozy games or anything like that, or these farm games. It's a Nintendo Direct. They always have those types of titles. From there, I think that the within this sort of paradigm of 20 minutes of Nintendo Direct regular Switch stuff, we're going to get a small additional trailer for Princess Peach Showtime, maybe showcasing another couple abilities as well as more info on story. We're going to get an exact release date for Luigi's Mansion 2 and the Paper Mario Thousand Year Door remake. Both of them are going to get more info on the extras that are being added into both of these games. There's going to be more info on Splatoon 3 DLC. Almost every Nintendo Direct has some sort of DLC info for existing Nintendo games. There aren't any existing Nintendo games that have DLC coming, first-party Nintendo games, besides Splatoon. Fire Emblem Engage is done. Mario Kart DLC is done. I don't really see anything with Smash Brothers at all coming. I think they would wait until June with more information to sort of corroborate the Super Switch. And speaking of that, I do think that Nintendo probably will make a larger announcement of something coming to the NSO, like Mother 3. But again, Mother 3, I think that's another June. I think there's another June 2024 Direct, because they tend to, I know E3 is long and dead, but I feel like the strongest Nintendo Directs usually are the ones in June. Now, I'd love for Nintendo to announce additional content for Super Mario RPG's remake, like a hard difficulty mode, please Nintendo, but again, that's just wishful thinking. And then the Nintendo Direct's going to have that wrap-up reel where it's going to be that 2-minute reel of a bunch of titles that were already announced and are coming out the next 2 months. But then they're going to end the show with that one last thing. It's the last kicker. And I'm torn on this one. The big money says that it's going to be finally the reveal of Metroid Prime 4 as a cross-gen title for the Nintendo Switch and the Super Nintendo Switch. But I think it could also be Mario Kart 10 for the Super Switch, and only the Super Switch. The logic, of course, 10, because they're going to count Mario Kart Tour as the 9th entry, and it's just kind of the in vogue thing to skip the 9th game, kind of sort of like how I know Microsoft did it with Windows. He went from Windows 8 to Windows 10. I know that was a whole thing. I think iPhone did that too, didn't they? iPhone skipped 8 and went to 10, X or whatever they called it. So that's sort of the in vogue thing. I wouldn't be surprised if it'd be Mario Kart 10. I also think it could be a Zelda remake for the Super Switch, and I think the big money on that is that it's going to be Ocarina of Time, because if you bring Ocarina of Time, and imagine Ocarina of Time, where the 3DS remaster, it looked fantastic, but it was on a little screen on the 3DS, even though the XL, it's still a little screen, and it's still a small resolution. Imagine how fantastic Ocarina of Time would look as a full 4K 60 frames per second. Heck, I'd take HD 60 frames per second at this point. HD, 1080p. I would take that. You notice how I'm not sacrificing the 60 frames per second. That's me. But I also feel if they had the remake for Ocarina of Time, it opens the door for Ocarina of Time to have more relevance again. And I think that the next Zelda game after Ocarina of Time, whatever one that Eiji Aonuma is currently working on, would be something that would allow the story to continue. I also wouldn't be surprised if the Direct also showed more information on like the Nintendo Museum or the Super Nintendo World or something like that, but those are my general predictions. Just also keep in mind, again, my general predictions, my opinions, and I'm basing them on me being a Nintendo fan for over 35 years. Yes, I am that old. And it's also regarding my history with watching these Nintendo Directs and these E3 presentations for a long time now. And let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. How far off am I? I'm sure I'm far off from what you guys think. Once the Direct has been announced, I'll most likely do like a wrap-up and opinions, thoughts video the day of or maybe the day after. Maybe bring a special guest or two in on that. Regardless, again, just let me know your thoughts. Love to start a conversation. Thank you again for watching, and have a great day.